Hey, Dave here, Fix and Fly RC. Hey, so next installment for my F-16 transformation to the Israeli camo paint scheme. So in the last video, I got the plane about ready. I did the dry fit, and after I finished the video, I got everything glued together, filled in the gaps around some of the wing edges and stuff. Not 100% happy with exactly everything I did. But again, just kind of moving along. So if I was making a show plane, I'd do a little bit more than this. But again, this is just kind of a fun little exercise, trying to learn some techniques and stuff. So just getting just getting through this one now. But got it glued together. I got it. Before I glued everything together, I did check out all the servos and make sure everything was working because I didn't want to get things glued together and painted and all that kind of stuff that had to start pulling out. Probably the one regret that I have right now, as I've thought about this, where I'm at with the plane, is I kind of wish I had gone ahead and replaced those cheap servos that come with the plane, and gone ahead and put some good higher quality gear, metal gear servos, and I forgot to get an afterburner and put it in. I had one in my other one that got burned up when the had a lipo battery burn up on it. But anyway, I may do that later, but right now I don't feel like taking it apart after I've gotten everything painted. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to lay out the base paint for the bottom and for the top, kind of walk through what that looks like and show you some of that. And then the next installment we'll get to the actual getting the camo put down. I got some pretty cool techniques that I learned on this one to help with putting camo down, and hopefully you'll like that and that'll help you out as well. So let's get into this one and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start the first coat of paint. I'm going to go ahead and start the bottom side first. It's going to end up being kind of a light gray. I'm going to be using this brand a paint right here, this Valhalla paint. This is not the color I'll use, but because of the dark colors here, I'm going to put a base coat of white down and get it all white first, and then come back with the light gray instead of trying to use a whole bunch of the gray color there, because I've got some of the white. So we're gonna do, and as you can see, I went ahead and raised the wheels and taped them up so don't get paint on the wheels or the gear there. But the inside, the underbelly, you can see is all this blue, and in this Israeli camo, the whole bottom is a light kind of bluish gray. So I'll need to, just to get everything, the stabs and the whole thing covered. So you can see I've, got a line of tape here, so I can do the whole outside. So we'll see how this first go at it goes. Okay, so as you can see here, we got the plane on the stand and ready to go. And I did go ahead and tape around the edges of the wings and all the way around. After thinking through this, I probably could have done away with having the tape the first coat of paint, because I'm going to be, putting paint on the top side. So if I had a little, spray over or something on the top side, it really wouldn't have mattered. So probably extra work that I didn't need to do doing that. But again, you can kind of see how that looks there. And then here you kind of see the close-up the way I did the tape. One thing I did end up doing is I painted the ends all the same color. I thought about doing it differently. This is going to be covered up with the missiles anyway. Probably didn't really matter. But you can kind of see how I did that. And again, if you'll kind of notice there in the background a little bit, I did, again, just kind of cover up the wheels and the struts to keep some overspray off of those during the event. And so what you see here now is that first coat of white that I've put down, just to kind of tamper down a little bit all that blue and the red. so I wasn't using so much paint. And so got that down and ready to go. And then moving on, you can kind of now see here the bottom side is now got covered again. I'm airbrushing, so you can kind of, if you look around, you'll kind of see some little white splotches and stuff. But if you look at the real plane anyway, one that's been used, it's going to have some discoloration in anyway. So I think that's actually going to look a little bit better at the end of the day. It's going to give a more realistic look when I do get done with it. I'll be doing some weathering, I think, too. And again, you can kind of see the back side. You notice I've painted the entire underneath the same color, and I've masked off there the end of it, the nozzle and stuff. So I'll be painting on that. Some a little bit different later, but I didn't want to get any overspray on that for right now. But you see these bottom stabs, and I painted, in the wheel wells. You can see here the wheel wells are painted as well. And so that turned out pretty good. I did end up using almost 2 full bottles of paint on it. I was learning a lot on trying to do a full coverage this, and I was doing, my first started spraying, I was doing a little too much, like spraying it like with a shaker can and moving it back and forth instead of nice, steady, strokes with a little bit of overlap. And so as I progressed along the painting, especially as I got closer to the end, I kind of got my technique down a little better. But that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn some techniques and how to do this. So again, this entire plane is being airbrushed. Now, one thing I did notice here, I had a few places where the paint peeled up, where the tape was at. And one thing I noticed was when I looked at that surface, I put a lot of polyacrylic down. It was real slick. I probably didn't get sandpaper on that. So I'll touch that up a little bit later on and get some sandpaper on it. And so now let's move over to the top side. Okay, so moving up to the top side here, you can kind of see the top side view, and you can see where I've masked off the glass on the canopy, and got the nose cone on there for now. I didn't paint it with on there, just to kind of get a look at the plane. That'll get painted later. But you can kind of see the finished product. This looks a little more yellow in the picture than it really does in real life. It's really kind of more of a stone or light brown look on the real planes, not quite as yellow as that. Now, if you kind of look kind of close, it kind of did the same thing as the bottom. There were some areas where it kind of looked faded or not completely covered. And again, I ended up using almost 2 bottles of paint on this. Now they're not big bottles, but I did learn a lot on the technique, where it's taking long, slower strokes and just kind of back and forth. And before, I was just kind of working in one spot, trying to like fill stuff in. So again, learning a lot about the airbrush technique, but turned out pretty happy with that. Here you can see another view from the plane, and again, you'll see where I took the canopy off, and I was painting just the white edges around where the canopy sits, where it mates up to the fuselage. So you can see where I just kind of put some paper towels and stuff in there. And the point of that was just to kind of the electronics and stuff like that, the receiver and all that. You didn't want to get paint on all that. So just kind of protecting that area. But, sometimes canopies don't fit real well all the time. And, you don't want some white or some other color showing through. So, just covering edges. And you can kind of see I did kind of the same thing up front. Going ahead and painting the up front. So when the nose cone goes on, there won't be any white just sticking through. And again, you just kind of see this top side view of the plane, and what it kind of looks like there. So Okay, not the best video in the world, but there's plenty of videos out there that go through a lot of the techniques. So I'm just kind of covering some of the in betweens and kind of the end products. Just again, you know, anybody that wants to get in, into the business and kind of wants to start playing around with, you know, their own their own schemes, or even you got to repair a plane and you want to fix get the colors back or get it looking good again. There's just a lot of opportunities. Um, so there we are with that. I was just going to show. So on the bottom, I use this Valhalla. It's again, it's made for air paint. I really like this. It worked really well. I don't have a real expensive airbrush, but some of the other paints where you have to put the thinner in it. Um, I've used that before, but I'm not real good at getting the ratios exactly right, and they clog up and it quits spraying. You got to take the paint out, clean the gun up, thin it down, try again, and then if you run out, then you got to try to get everything matched. So this worked out really well. I really liked it. It's not that expensive. So I used 2 bottles of this on the bottom, just about. Could have probably got less if I had started my technique of light coats first. Don't try to just get it the right color the first pass where you're just putting a lot of paint down at one time. Just kind of work your way through it, get a light coat, and start back over. This paint will air dry, so you can repaint pretty fast. And you're going to want, before you do any taping to it or any other thing, you'll want to give it 12, probably 24 hours to get really good dry. But anyway, use that on the bottom, and then for the top, I use this. It's called, I can't remember if I said what this was. This was pale gray. It was Valhalla. I was looking for the number on it. But anyway, this should be 71 something. But anyway, and this is the same thing as the Valhalla. It's a light UK light stone is the name of the color, and it's 71.143. So that's the paint that I used on the top. Again, used just about 2 full bottles of that. I got enough to do a little touch up on both of these, but that's cool. And so we got that done. So again, next video is going to be on the technique I used to do the camo, and a little bit of a tease. It wasn't using paint or tape, where you got to worry about it tacking and pulling up your paint and that kind of stuff. And usually camo doesn't have real sharp lines. We'll talk about this in the next video. It's more of smooth lines, and they're not real sharp. And so I was pretty happy with how that turned out. So I'll definitely be using this technique in the future for if I want to do any more camo stuff. So, but again, as always, comments, suggestions, likes, or whatever, just to let me know if this is helping anybody, or you got suggestions on things that you could help other people that are beginning in this part of the hobby. So anyway, it's New Year's Day 2026, so I hope everybody had a great new year, and good flying weather is just around the corner. So Dave here with Fix and Fly Out.